In our part 1 video, we showed you an overview of our back-of-the-house systems and controls. Our part 2 video will show you a step-by-step procedure. This is the same information that is from our back-of-the-house procedure manual. Again, what is a prime cost report? It gives you the cost of sales, food and beverage, plus all your payroll-related expenses. Each Monday morning, you're able to make accurate decisions. In many cases, stop problems before they get out of hand. Now, prime cost usually runs around 60 to 65% total sales in a full-service restaurant and 55 to 60% in a quick-service restaurant. Now, we'll discuss these benchmarks later because they can change depending on your type of operation. But once again, the prime cost does allow you to see the big picture of your key areas. Before we get into part 2, I'd like to give you a little background of back of the house. Now, it was originally designed for small food service facilities with one person doing the job of two people, a chef and a manager. These food facilities were accounts of usually large food service management companies located in major cities. They would come in the AM, prep, serve, clean up, and do their financial paperwork. The financials packages all necessary paperwork to send to the corporation, which would be the invoices, which would be the sales reports, payroll, and inventory. While doing this, they prepared an in-house report, evaluated the report with their district manager, and made the necessary adjustment or changes for the next week. This is what our back of the program does for you. It allows you to spend less time in preparing the paperwork and more time in evaluating it. Once again, this is the main menu of our program. You're going to find this very easy to navigate. If you click on the WIR, it'll ask you if you want a food, other operating expenses, or bar. Another one will take you to the prime cost reports and so on. Again, as I said in part 1, we have 4 key areas: purchasing, which is your invoice and expenses, your POS reports or from another means, your POS, your payroll information, and your inventory information. So there has to be a starting point. The main thing we suggest is you would have a set place for your incoming invoices. And in this particular case, we have a wall-mounted rack, which for the top part would be your food invoices, bar, and then other operating expenses. It's also very important to have petty cash receipts for when someone comes out and has purchased something and you want to make sure that it gets inputted into the WIR. So as far as purchasing goes, this is probably the most important one. This allows you to track your invoices. So you're gonna input your food invoices into a WIR food, and then this is a program. This is a Cost Genie design program that allows you to handle your invoices. And these are the 3 different layouts you'll have. One's for food, one's for bar, and other operating expenses. So what this is going to do is very easily, these will all be pop-ups, and you'll just put the invoice information and break them down into categories, which we will have a manual and systems and controls showing you how to do that. So after we have the invoice, we have the sales. Now, in the easy part, you would take this from the POS system. If you do not have a POS system, you can have your manual sales report. You can take it from a cash register. But you're basically looking at 4 areas: food, liquor, beer, and wine. And if it's just food, if you do not serve that, then you would just use food sales. Your payroll information can come from your POS or come from a payroll service or any other method, in-house reports that you do your payroll on. And at the end of the week, this creates a weekly WIR. And you'll see where this starts to fall in. You have sales, which come from your sales report or your POS. These come from your invoices. And this comes from your labor. And your number of covers, which we'll explain later, comes from your POS. Now this is where you would input your inventory, but our system kind of stops here for a minute. This is an optional. We want to get this thing out fast, so it's just a matter in starting off of you just inputting your invoices to give you your food cost. Now, if you do decide to take inventory, Cost Genie has an inventory program which allows you ease of inputting of your ingredients, create an inventory list, worksheets for you to take a manual inventory, and an inventory value report. And this is where you would put your inventory adjustments to get an adjusted food cost. So we've covered the weekly and monthly prime cost report. In part 3, we'll cover the end of the period, a complete P&L and profit and loss statement. And this is a profit and loss statement which is from the Uniform System of Accounts from the National Restaurant Association, which allows you to evaluate your operation against all other operations over the United States. Once again, this is the end of part 2, and we'll be going on to part